Foreclosure doesn't start the way people think. Most people picture a sheriff's notice on the door, an auction date, or someone being forced out of their home. But that's the very end of the process, not the beginning. Foreclosure usually starts quietly, long before anything legal happens. It starts with stress. It starts with letters that don't get opened right away. It starts with that feeling in your stomach when you see the mortgage statement and tell yourself you'll figure it out next month. And for a lot of homeowners, that quiet phase is the most dangerous part because it's where time slowly slips away without anyone realizing it. What most people don't talk about is how normal this feels at first. Missing a payment doesn't feel like a crisis. Falling a month behind feels temporary. Life happens. Medical bills come up. A job changes. A family situation shifts. You tell yourself you'll catch up when things settle down. And for a while, the house still feels like yours. You're still living there. No one is knocking on the door. Nothing looks different from the outside. That's why foreclosure is so deceptive. It doesn't announce itself loudly in the beginning. As the months go by, the pressure builds, but it's still mostly invisible. The letters start to stack up. The phone calls become more frequent. You might stop answering unknown numbers. You might avoid talking about it with friends or family because it feels embarrassing or overwhelming. A lot of homeowners feel like if they just don't think about it too much, it might somehow work itself out. That's a very human response. It's not about being irresponsible. It's about stress, fear, and not knowing what your real options are. If this sounds familiar to you, just stay with me for a moment. This isn't about judgment, and it's not about selling you anything. It's about understanding what's actually happening and what choices still exist during this quiet stage. One of the biggest myths about foreclosure is that once you're behind, it's already too late. In reality, the earlier stage is where homeowners usually have the most flexibility. There are often more options before anything is officially filed, and even after that point, there can still be paths forward depending on the situation. The problem is that most people don't learn about those options until they're already under extreme pressure, and by then, the timeline feels rushed and stressful. Another thing people don't realize is that waiting almost always makes decisions harder, not easier. When time passes, fees add up, stress increases, emotions run higher, and the choices that once felt manageable start to feel limited. That's why so many homeowners end up feeling trapped, even when alternatives might still exist. It's not that they didn't care. It's that no one clearly explained what the process actually looks like or when to ask questions. Foreclosure also doesn't just affect finances. It affects sleep, relationships, and mental health. It's hard to focus when there's uncertainty hanging over your head. It's hard to make clear decisions when you're constantly worried about what's coming next. Many people carry this stress quietly, trying to protect their family or maintain a sense of normalcy, even while feeling overwhelmed inside. What's important to understand is that needing information or help does not mean you've failed. Houses are assets, but they're also responsibilities. And sometimes circumstances change in ways no one plans for. Exploring options is not the same thing as giving up. It's simply taking control of the situation instead of letting it control you. For some homeowners, keeping the house and catching up makes sense. For others, modifying the loan might be the right path. And for some, selling the property before things escalate further is the least stressful option. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and anyone who tells you there is should be questioned. Real solutions depend on timing, finances, and personal priorities. The key takeaway is this: foreclosure doesn't start with an eviction. It starts with silence, stress, and uncertainty. And the earlier someone understands what stage they're in, the more power they usually have to choose what happens next. Information creates breathing room, clarity reduces fear, and even small steps toward understanding your situation can make a big difference in how things turn out. If you're watching this and it feels close to home, you're not alone. A lot of people go through this quietly, and there's no obligation to make a decision today or even tomorrow. But getting clear on where you stand and what options exist can help you move forward with less pressure and more confidence. If you want more straightforward information like this, follow the channel. And if you ever want to talk privately or ask questions without pressure, you can reach out when you're ready. The most important thing is not waiting until the noise starts.